Hi BookTube, it's Stephanie. Today I'm going to share with you my June TBR, in which I will participate in the Make Your Myth-Taker readathon, hosted by Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction and Charlotte, who's a host of a podcast that I can't recall right now, but I'm going to link everything down below so you can check it out. So the Make Your Myth-Taker readathon is based on RPG games in which you have 4 different classes. You have the warrior court, the warriors, the rogues, or however you're supposed to pronounce that. I have refilmed this part so many times, and the sorcerers. So the Make Your Myth-Taker readathon is based on the 4 different classes that we have in RPG games. So we have the royal court, the roaches, or however you're supposed to pronounce that, the warriors, and the sorceress. Each category also has 4 sub characters. So you can, for instance, be a jester, a courtier, the royal spy, and the monarch for the royal court category. But yeah, there's 16 different characters and I will not go through everything here, but I'm personally going for the goddess path. The main reason as to why I chose the goddess path was because the way Ashley described it in the announcement video, I went, yeah, that's basically how I'm feeling now when everyone around me complains about being bored, have nothing to do, and I'm just there like, really? Well, this is life for me normally, so you probably have been born out of your mind in that case. And let's face it, as a goddess, since you're living such a long life, it probably turns out to be the same every day anyway. Cringe. But that was a whim too. That's what I try to, yeah. So the type of goddess that I'm aiming for is basically, as it starts off right now, is at least a goddess that hasn't picked where she wants to go or hasn't been given a designation yet, or a task, so to speak. So yeah, let's start with my TBR. As always, I will start with the books that I'm currently reading. I'm still reading the Temporätskedjan that I'm holding upside down. It would not have mattered, but whatever. I actually read 90 pages this month, which, I mean, okay. But yeah, still reading this one. Then I have Terminal Alliance by Jim C. Hines. I hit a snag this month because I do know that a lot of people complained in March and April that they were having some slumpish tendencies or didn't feel like reading. That I hit that in May, about 2-3 weeks ago. So yeah, I never finished this. I basically felt like reading comic books and more graphic novels than anything else. So, and yeah, I didn't want to force myself through it. I am really enjoying it and I have about 100 pages left. And then I started The Mystery on the Blue Train by Agatha Christie, and I have definitely watched this on TV. And yeah, I would say that the TV show is better. However, oddly enough, Poirot hasn't been introduced yet, and I oddly feel like feels like this was written for TV, but this was not written for TV. Like, definitely not, but it definitely reads like it. This was written 1928. So why does it have this like long introduction in which we are meeting all the characters before the detective is introduced? Whatever. So for the goddess path, I will start with reading a book with an inhuman or non-human main, and for that I'm going with The Dragon with a Chocolate Heart by Stephanie Burgess. One thing that I forgot to mention is that once you have picked a TBR for your path, you're stuck with it, so you can't change the books and you have to read them in order. I'm scared. However, I'm also a goddess, so I probably could like tricks with time and stuff. Probably. But yeah, this is about a dragon who gets tricked into eating some enchanted chocolate and gets turned into a human. I have also read a little bit more, but basically the dragon falls in love with the taste of chocolate and wants to learn more. Yeah, sounds brilliant. Can't wait to read this, and this will be the first book that I need to pick up to continue with my path. The next prompt that I need to fulfill is a prompt that goes through or cross over all the sorcerer characters, and that is read a book with a fold cover, and for that I'm going to read Havenfall by Sarah Holland. This is a story in which we following a character whose parents are running this inn that's on the breaking point, or like on the converge point, of which 3 different worlds are meeting, like they border each other on that location, and it's a piece that's kind of like yeah, and then someone ends up murdered, and the main character needs to figure out why, basically. But yeah, this is a pretty short one, so I should be able to finish it soonish. I should not have said that. Definitely not. Oh, the next one. When it comes to this particular readathon, the third prompt is a crossover prompt. So if I wanted to go to the monarch, in this case, because the goddess is crossover with the monarch, I can do that, but I'm going to continue down. However, this prompt is highest rated, and apparently you could do some other things with that prompt. But when I looked at my Goodreads, I knew what book it was, but because I had considered having this challenge in which I read the top 3 books I own and the top lowest rated for this year, but I decided not to do it. And the reason for that was that the top book that I own is this one, The Complete Story of Sherlock Holmes, which is, yeah. However, this is over 1400. This is 1408 pages. However, this did not have the highest rating of the books that I had at the point, because that was Baker's Dozen by someone named Allison, and I can't remember who it was. And I was like, I will buy that on ebook and I will read that because new. However, a week ago, when I decided to like pick my TBR, I looked again because I had blanked on what the name of that book was, and it turns out that the real book that I actually own, that's currently highest rated, and I will not check to see if anything has changed, is Network Effect by Martha Wells, and I'm so happy. Yes, I'm putting this on my TBR. The last prompt of the Goddess Path is to randomize your TBR, and according to Ashley, you could do that in whatever way you wanted. So first I was going to pick like 5 books and use a random number generator. I decided just to take a picture and then send them to my friend, who actually knows I have a booktube channel, and she picked the Tea Dragon Festival by Katie O'Neill, which is the sequel to the Tea Dragon Society. I did enjoy that. I read that in the beginning of this month, but I actually loved the ending part, which you have a little bit more text, so to speak, because you learn more about the dragons, and I love lists books, so that was basically why. But this is the book she picked for me. So that's the 4 books I need to read to become a goddess. However, I wouldn't be me if I didn't, add some more books. So I wanted to read a book that would fulfill the crossover prompts for the other 3 main categories. So if we start with Rogue, let's start with Rogue. We have read a book with a dark cover, and for that I have The Unspoken Name by A.K. Lockwood. I just never got around to this because, as I said, I didn't really feel like reading at all. So yeah, So there's that. Oh, and the other books that you add in, you don't have to read in order. So if I feel like I want to read this next to the middle grade, it won't matter. I can do that. But again, I'm a goddess. I might get the ability to travel through time. I mean, come on. Now, if you watched my library haul, you might remember that at the end I said that I was expecting a book over 600 pages. Something like that. Actually, the book is over 800 pages, or just at 800 pages. And that's House of Earth and Blood by Sarah Maas, which is the first book in the Crescent City series. Yeah. This will fulfill the crossover prompt that goes for the Royal Court, which is read a book with royal colors on the cover, red, purple or gold. This both have red and purple. Yeah. And for the warrior, we have read a book with a weapon on the cover. And yes, I do have several books that could fit this. But I decided to go with a non-fiction, and for that I have Nuking the Moon and Other Intelligence Schemes and Military Plots Left on the Drawing Board by Vince Houghton. This is a fantasy readathon kinda, so I mean having a nuke as your weapon might be unconventional. However, I am a goddess, so I might, be able to spot that there are some, thing in the future. Or maybe I might have some kind of oracle powers, because I actually might read one book that would fit that, but I'm not picking that one right now. So yeah, that's my kind of TBR. My main focus will definitely be the 4 books for my path to become a goddess, and then I will definitely focus on the House of Earth and Blood, because I want to read it. And yeah, so yeah, that's my TBR for June. Are you taking part in the To Make Your Myth-Taker readathon? If in that case, what are you going for? Please tell me down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.